There is Juan Hernandez going to be joining us.
Your Honor, it's my understanding his appearance would be waived this afternoon.
That's correct. All right. We're on the record in 24 CCR 240766, State of Texas versus Juan Jose Hernandez Jr. You're asking for a motion to modify. Proceed with your argument.
Yes, Your Honor, this is our motion to modify the conditions of his bond, specifically and solely as it pertains to the GPS monitoring that's currently been in effect. Your Honor, that provision has been in effect since Mr. Hernandez originally posted his bond back in July of 2024. It's my understanding that there have been no violations of the geographic restriction in terms of attempts to make contact with the complaining witness at their residence. And given how much time has elapsed, Your Honor, I would just ask for that provision to be removed.
State.
Briefly on this yesterday to get it scheduled, and I indicated that I would make an attempt so that I can
Split. You're going to speak with the complaining witness.
and left a voicemail. It's also my understanding that the complainant witness may also speak Spanish, so there was a voicemail left in Spanish. At this point, I have not heard back for the complainant witness. So at this point, the state cannot consent to that modification of the bond conditions. And I will note that this specific defendant does have, in his criminal history, has already had an affirmative finding of family violence. So at this point, the state cannot consent to that modification. This, because of the lack of contact that we have not made with the complainant witness, who is this defendant's sister.
Have you spoken to the CW at all in this case? Okay, so this case has been filed since July of last year. You've not spoken to the CW at all. Ms. Saylor?
Your Honor, if I may, I'm not requesting that we remove any no contact provisions with the complaining witness. I'm simply asking that we remove the provision regarding the GPS monitoring. I think that we've had sufficient time to see that there is no threat of further or any different violations or anything of that nature occurring, given how much time has elapsed and we've had no issues with the GPS monitor itself. And Your Honor, I think you know I have the same concerns that we had our third discovery compliance setting yesterday, and it sounds like the state has yet to make contact with the complaining witnesses, which means we have yet to receive an offer. And this is really why I'm bringing this motion, because it's my hope that we can, make the conditions on him less restrictive in light of how slowly the case is progressing.
Here's the deal, Ms. Saylor. I'm hesitant merely because your client has a previous affirmative finding of family violence in a previous case. I see that he has got quite a few bond conditions, several no contacts, not to mention some other conditions such as the use of tracking devices on vehicles. He's going to remain 1,000 feet from the complainant's residence, school, and place of employment. No contact whatsoever. What does your client do for a living?
My client works kind of odd jobs, Your Honor. And just to provide some background, these conflicts in these cases, including the previous one that the state made reference to, all have arisen out of an inheritance dispute between the parties. And I think those things have cooled off. And so again, I think the remaining no contact provisions, the stay away provisions, are adequate to ensure the safety of the complainants in this case.
Kate, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
And it's criminal history that is multiple, family, violence related offenses, and including also used in, 2014, a violation of a protective order, conviction as well. And I will note that the theme in this case, as the defense counsel indicated, is actually the subject of what was the inheritance dispute.
The scene is the subject? The house is the subject of a?
I couldn't quite catch all that, Your Honor, but it's my understanding that what Ms. Hicks was saying was that the house in question where this took place was the subject of the conflict because one of the siblings inherited the house at the dismay of the others.
The complaining witness in this case is the sibling.
That's correct, Your Honor.
But he has a no contact for a Anthony Hernandez, and Cynthia Hernandez, A.H. Junior, A.H., and well, there's several minors.
I believe those were other individuals who were present. I believe Cynthia is another sibling, not the complaining witness herself. She had another case that she actually had a case against her that arose out of the same conflict as well. And I think there are some children involved who may have been present at the time of the alleged incident.
So he's gonna have no contact with Sandra and all of those people as well.
Correct, Your Honor, and I'm not asking for any modification of that solely.
Can I, hold on, Ms. Saylor. I just want to hear from probation if there's been any conditions, violations of conditions of bond. All right, Ms. Saylor, you may not have heard that. I'm not certain. Did you?
No, Your Honor, I apologize. I can't
Okay.
hear anybody really but you very well.
Yesterday, probation obtained a sample from your client that was positive for cocaine. However, they have not received confirmation of that sample. It has been sent to the laboratory for review.
Understood, Your Honor, and I'm certainly not asking for removal of any UA testing.
I'm denying your request at this time. I'm not saying that I'm unwilling to remove it at some point in the future, but based on probation statement to the court today indicating that there might be a positive drug test, I want to get those results first, and then we'll have a discussion after that as to whether or not I'm going to remove that. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm shelving this for now. I'm not denying it. I'm not granting it. It's just on hold until we get those results.
Understood, Your Honor.
So I am sure once probation, or excuse me, pretrial services has the results from the laboratory, they will either notify the court and you as to what's going to take place from there.
Understood, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Saylor, thank you. That concludes the hearing.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
All right, Ms. Alexander, we're on the record in 24 CCR 238220, State of Texas versus Jacoby Dante Reams. Let me get your status update on this case.
Yes, Judge. So I have spoken with the state on this case as well as my client. I have relayed the offer. I believe that the case will be disposed of by the next status hearing. As I indicated to the state, on my end, I think there's something wrong with my Axum viewer, and I just wanted to show my client a part of the evidence, but I think that it still will be resolved by the 5/22 date, if not before.
Do you need a plea setting? Do you need a plea date?
Yes, Judge, I believe so.
Okay, let's get you a date. Sarah? Would you like to be set on March 13th at 1:30?
I'll be in Punta Cana, Judge.
Okay. After that?
March
Get back.
20th.
When do you get back?
I get back on the 14th. That's the end of spring break.
How about March 18th?
Yes, Judge, that works.
And March 18th at what time? It's going to be at 9 a.m.
March 18th at 9 a.m. That works for me, Judge.
Okay. You're set for a plea on March 18th at 9 a.m. We'll see you then. You and your
Thank
client
you.
in person. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Bye-bye.
Okay. 24 CCR 237764, State of Texas versus Millicent Eferkia. Come on up.
Say your name.
All right, you can come up. Stand next to your attorney. All right, Mr. Boje, why don't you give me a status update?
So it's decided that we're going to be able to have a concern about just one provision of paragraph G, which it relates to communication with, I believe, the complaining witness, but here it says any child under the age of 18. So that's our concern. We need to clarify that with the prosecutor. So I understand she's trial or something.
Who's the prosecutor on this case?
Your Honor, it's Jessica Ramos. I believe because of the nature of the offense, it's handled by a special division.
Okay. Well, your next court setting's on May 22nd, so hopefully you have it figured out and resolved before then. Just notify, once your client enters into the PTI, notify the court. Call Sarah or email her. Okay? All right, very good. Thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go. All right, we're on the record in 24 CCR 238023, State of Texas versus Jeffrey Luis Rogers. Mr. Ashford, if you give the court an update.
We have an offer and we will be making a counter offer in the coming days.
Okay. And do you anticipate this case to be resolved by the next court setting or no?
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
Depends on if the counter offer is accepted.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ashford, thank you for the update. You and your client are free to go.
All right, thank you.
23 CCR 231-422, State of Texas versus Gerardo Macedo Garcia,
Until great
right here.
defendant's turn. I'm here for it. And Mr. Garcia's here.
All right, why don't you give me an update?
Basically, Your Honor, I've made a counter offer also to the district attorney, so we're gonna refer to the next status hearing, if that's okay with the court.
Okay. All right, well, y'all continue your negotiations. I'll see you back in court on May 22nd then.
Excellent.
You may.
With this specific case, I believe, council was having, trouble previously getting, discovery through our, e-system. I believe he since now has received that discovery, so we do have a discovery log.
All right, thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Lewis, if you would turn your video on, please. We're on the record in 24 CCR 239-323, State of Texas versus Patrick Lewis. Mr. Darvishi, if you give the court a status update.
Yes, Your Honor. So at this time, we received a potential Brady notice from the state concerning the analyst on this case. We also we had one failed attempt at picking up blood discovery. I think we got a blank disc, but I picked that up earlier today, actually. So it's just going to be combing through that and comparing it with that potential Brady notice as well.
All right. Thank you for the update on the case. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. Mr. Vickers. We're on the record in 24 CCR 238-218, State of Texas versus Javier Esaias Vickers. Mr. Padilla.
Javier Vickers, yes, sir.
Yes, Judge. On this case, we are going to be entering into RTP, so we're just pending that. I'm sure we can get it done next week and get them into that program.
Next week, you're having done?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Just notify the court once he's entered the program.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Y'all are free to go.
This case as well, state does have a signed compliance log as well.
Thank you. We're on the record in 24 CCR 240-481 and 482, State of Texas versus Javier Ramos. Mr. Two, if you give the board a status update.
Judge, we're ready for, we've gotten full discovery from the state as far as we know everything that we've signed over. Now, if there's anything new that I don't know about, I don't know about it. So I'm sure Heath will take care of that if necessary. But we are ready for trial. My understanding is I'm going to try to put together a mitigation package for the state. And I still have some time to do that. My client is in the process of doing a BIP course and getting together that package.
All right. Thank you for the update, Mr. Two. You and your client are free to go, and thank you for your patience.
Bye-bye, Judge. Who was the one that took so long on that motions?
Why don't you just look at my docket? You can look at the number one case. You'll find out.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna post it on the list, sir. Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
All right, we're on the record in 24 CCR. Well, are they in person? Next case.
Yes, y'all.
24 CCR 240460 and 697 State of Texas versus Michael Johnson. Mr. Johnson, we're up here. All right, status update.
Yes, Judge, new to the case, obviously, I am, still compiling discovery. State has been diligent in providing the discovery. So far, they've provided the paper discovery. I received, links to the electronic discovery earlier today. I am in the process of trying to figure out how to download that. I asked the state if they could put it on a disk for me, but at this time, they're only able to provide me with a link. So I am going to try to figure out how to get that link downloaded. The state has conveyed an offer. At this time, we are not ready to accept the offer. I'm not sure if we will be able to accept the offer at the next setting. My client at this point is wanting to assert his right to trial, and that's where we are.
Absolutely. Okay.
If I'm able, well, I'm going to be able to download and view the evidence. Once I view the evidence, I'll be able to consult with my client, and if that changes, we'll let the state and the court know as soon as possible.
Thank you. Appreciate the update. You and your client are free to go.
Thank you, Judge. Billy Fair. Billy with the Y, fair, fair like B fair.
Thank you.
All right, 23 CCR 235975, State of Texas versus Peggy Javon Franklin. Mr. Harris, you there?
I'm here, Your Honor. How are you?
Franklin? Right there.
My ladies' man, isn't it? Ladies, not according to Georgina Achabi. She says that Johnny forced himself.
1 second.
She was a bitch. She's only been around. Okay, the rest of her career was some 20 years. No, he wished that himself when he assaulted.
All right, Mr. Harris, why don't you give the court an update?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Ms. Franklin, paid her fee that was owed in order to get the contract for the program. Your Honor, we received the contract maybe an hour ago. So we're ready to go to get her started into the program. I plan on meeting with her and going over the details and sending my part in later on, if not today, then tomorrow morning at the latest.
What program?
Safe Start.
She is the Safe Start, I believe.
All right, once she enters the program, notify the court.
Yes, I will, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Harris. You're free to go. You and your client both.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Twenty-three CCR 235249, State of Texas versus Logan Salazar. The update.
Yes, Your Honor. So my client is trying to enter the retail theft diversion program, but it's not had the money to pay. He did have a job at the last setting, so he was working on getting that money together, but has since lost that job. So he will be filing for the e-waiver to see if he can get that with the DA's office. If he's unable to sign up before the next setting, our intent is to work out some sort of time off with the state at that time. He has pre-trial on April 24th.
April 24th. Yep. All right. Well, hopefully he gets it taken care of and the fee waiver is granted. He can enter the program.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for the update. Yes, you may. 23 CCR 234988, State of Texas versus Cartavius Thompson. Mr. Fulano, your client's coming on right now. Mr. Thompson, if you would turn your video on, please. Okay, Mr. Fulano, your update.
The prosecutor's been good enough to go ahead and, he was originally in the diversion program, but, didn't go ahead and make it in that. So we're back here in the court, and I'll go ahead and discuss that, plea with him.
All right. Thank you for the update, and just keep me updated at the next setting. Have a good one. All right, Mr. Bachan, you're next. Bring in the next one. We're on the record in 23 CCR 234543, State of Texas versus Delaney Francis Reed. Mr. Reed, if you would turn your camera on, please.
I'm trying to right now.
All right.
Is it-
Mr. Chan, your update on the case.
Your Honor, the plaintiff made us an offer today. We'd ask the court to give us until the next setting to make a decision on whether or not we accept that offer or not.
All right. Well, I mean, you've got your next setting on 4/24, your pretrial. So you've got some time to discuss it with your client and figure out what you want to do. If you want to plead the case before then, just contact Sarah.
Yes.
You may be excused. Mr. Reed, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Edwards. Ms. Moreno, are you there? Ms. Moreno. Ms. Moreno, are you there? Please turn your camera on, please. Email her, Sarah. Ms. Moreno.
Okay, sorry, someone called me and I couldn't switch over. I was trying to hit the button and I couldn't.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. We're on the record in 22 CCR 230939, State of Texas versus Dennis, Wayne Edwards. Why don't you give me your status update?
So Judge, I've been speaking with the prosecutor. We've been kind of going back and forth about the offer. I don't have an exact answer yet. I think part of the complication is that my client resides out of state. So, but we've been discussing and negotiating, but we don't have a final decision made yet.
Okay. Well, your pretrial is April 10th, which is just right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
In-person setting, so your client will need to be present.
April 10th at, okay, I'll get the time. I have it.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Yes. Kayeda, he has a motion to reinstate Egbuna. Where'd he go? Oh, he's on Zoom now? He wasn't here. All right.
Is it a class number?
Yeah, it's 24 CCR 240503.
Hello, Judge.
1 second, Mr. Kayeda. I am having issues bringing in the case. Did you bring it in already, Sarah? Because it's saying it doesn't exist. Or is that the right cause number? Yeah.
Hey, come with me. Let's get your paper. James? Come on.
Okay. I had to refresh, that's all.
And my client is in the conference room with me.
All right, we're on the record in 24 CCR 240503. State of Texas versus Mandela Egbuna. We're here on a motion to reinstate. Mr. Kayeda, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. We are here to fix my mistake, Judge. On Tuesday afternoon, I was in the 400th District Court assisting Brandon Sims pick a jury, and I absolutely forgot to notify the court about my unavailability. I know that my client had logged on a couple of times. He was having problems staying connected due to his service issues, and it was kind of in and out of service. So I believe the court forfeited his bond. So we filed a motion to reinstate his bond.
Yeah, when we got to his case, he was not present in the waiting room.
Right. But I do believe he had logged on before and then got kicked off by his own, bad phone, bad service issues. But I don't think it would have been a problem if I had notified the court sooner or been able to be online. So can we just agree to blame me? Again?
Again?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. State. Talking to the microphone so he can hear you as well. At least get near it. You don't have to be right on top of it.
That's accurate, Your Honor. I don't have anything else to add.
What's his next court setting after this, Sarah? Or 22, it looks like. When's his pre-trial and trial? All right. So I'm reviewing the case file, Mr. Kayeda, and it doesn't look like he has missed any court settings. His bond hasn't been revoked for any reasons that I can tell. State, are you opposed to reinstating?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to reinstate your bond. Withdraw the capias.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Capias is gone. Next setting is going to be on April 22nd. The dates on his DCO shall remain in place.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
No, I greatly appreciate you adding us onto the docket today.
Problem.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Longest status docket ever. I think next time we have a motion like